Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome back to episode 6 of my Southampton series for Football Manager 2016. This is, of course, second season, pre-season, and we've got quite a lot to get through today. There has been some major transfer activity, and some of you might be a little bit upset about the decisions I've made. Others will probably be optimistic, I think. Well, that's what I'm going for anyway. So we'll get into things here, the transfers, go into history. We'll go through the outs first. And there's quite a few notable people in the outs. There's actually one that you can't see because he's a bit lower down. But first of all, Victor Wanyama. Sold him to Paris Saint-Germain for 27 million pounds, sorry. He actually had a release clause of 29 million. They offered me just under 20, I believe, and I tried to negotiate it up to his release clause because I knew if I rejected it, he would complain because I'm pretty sure he's actually wanted to leave the club in the past anyway. So we sold him, nearly got his release clause value, but 27 million for a defensive midfielder is still pretty good. He's probably one of the best defensive mids in the game, and he's at a reasonable age. So that one might come back to bite me in the arse. We'll just have to wait and see. We then let Ryan Seagar go out on loan to Dundee United. He's a pretty decent player, to be fair. Never know, might turn into a decent striker. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see with that one. We then let Jay Rodriguez go to Tottenham for 29.5 million. I think it was actually a little bit more in potential clauses of the transfer, with international appearances and games played and stuff like that. I don't think it was too much. It might have been about 35, so another, 5.5 potential. So yeah, we let him go. They sold Harry Kane to Manchester United, and obviously they wanted to replace him. Rodriguez is a very good player, was our leading goal scorer last season on 21 goals, I believe. But I feel like, I bought a couple of players last season in Ihenicho who could be better than him, and I believe they will be. One of you guys commented in the last video that you're a little bit worried about how he was going to develop, but I do have high hopes, and I think he will turn out to be one of the better strikers in the world. Anyway, Jack Stevens was let go on loan to Bournemouth, another little youth player, centre-back, pretty decent again, but he doesn't look to be Premier League quality, so I'm not sure about him. Some loan football might do him some good. We then let go of a lot of under-21 players whose contract came to an end. We then let Harrison Reed go on loan to Aberdeen. Again, he's also in the same, pretty much the same level as the other guys. I just mentioned that one out on loan. He actually has a bit better potential, but I don't really see where that's coming from. He doesn't look too good. We then let go of Cedric to Valencia for 8.5, with a potential of the transfer going up to about 12.5, I think. Obviously we got San Emericio last season, and he's already advancing. He's well past, well, he's not well past Cedric's level, but he is a bit better. Cedric's 24, complained a little bit about first team football last season. We actually signed a player who I'll go through in a second on a free transfer who is nearly the same quality as Cedric, probably a little bit worse, but he'll probably be back up and he'll probably be happy being back up. The next player we let go of was Dominic Gape, just a nothing player in the under-21s. As you can see, wasn't really going to be too good, only 2-star scout rating. He was a homegrown player, which was disappointing, but oh well, he was sold to Swindon for 79,000. And then we let go of my probably best player of the series so far in the first season, Sadio Mane. He was sold to Barcelona for 55 million up front, and then I think there's a potential to be 65 million. I think he's got 5 million in appearances and 5 million in goals. We also set up a 20% of next fee, so if Barcelona ever decide to sell him on, we will get 1/5 of whatever they get. So I think that's a pretty decent piece of business. I know he was the best player in the team. Don't get me wrong, but I think the player that we brought last season in Zivkovic, Andrea Zivkovic, that is. I think he might not be better than Sadio Mane, but he'll definitely be of the same level. And I'm quite happy with him, and especially how he's performed in pre-season, which I'll show you a little bit later on. He has been immense. We then let go of Virgil van Dijk on loan to Real Sociedad for 150,000 loan fee per month. He's going to get first team football there as a key player. Sorry, it might actually be first team instead of key player, but that's still pretty decent. We brought in we actually brought in two centre backs in the summer here, so he was, pretty much never going to get any game time. And two of the players that we have are both over the age of 30, so I didn't want to sell him because he might be a decent backup in the future once those two guys get on a little bit more and their careers eventually come to an end. So Real Sociedad in La Liga, pretty decent team to go to in my eyes. Jason McCarthy was also let go on loan to Aberdeen. He's again in the same aspect as far as first team goes. He might be good enough, but I don't really think so. So yeah, loan to Aberdeen. Anyway, the players in: Hatem Ben Arfa from Nice on a Bosman, free transfer. Very good player, competition for the right wing and the centre attacking mid role. Definitely a decent player. Could do a lot of damage in both positions, really. He's got the pace to be a good winger, and he's got the technical and mentals to be a decent AMC as well. We then brought in Carlos Zambrano from Frankfurt, one of the centre-backs I was mentioning. He was just going to be a backup, but he probably will start as a backup, to be fair. But he's a very good player, and he's got good pace. He's lacking in the heading department, which is a little bit worrying. But again, he was on a Bosman, free transfer, can't really complain. The next guy is a player, if you've watched my Everton series from last year, you'll be quite familiar with. Geronimo Rulli. Very, very good goalkeeper. It's pretty much as good as he was last year. 19 reflexes, 19 one-on-ones, 15 handling and kicking, and decent mental attributes as well. Technicals aren't that bad either, and 24 years old, 6 caps already for the Argentinian national team. However, he is currently away at the Olympics, which is not great because we will have our first game of the season today against Chelsea as well, which is going to be difficult. But anyway, will be first team goalkeeper for this season, and of course we still have Fraser Foster, who will be his backup and hopefully challenge him if he's not performing well enough. The next player is Haruki Sakai, Japanese right fullback. Another Bosman transfer, already valued at 15.5 million. Very good pace on him. Defensively, not too great, but he's very good going forward. So, yeah, will be the backup to San Emericio. So, yeah, good little free transfer again from Hanover there. We then signed Ryan Shawcross from the recently relegated Stoke City. And of course, that was for a transfer fee of just over 3 million, 3.2 million to be precise. As you can see, you would expect Shawcross to be quite decent. And he is. 28 years old, English, very, very happy. Only 40,000 wages as well. He will be our starting centre-back for this season, most likely. We then signed Michael Carrick on a free transfer. This one popped up. I wasn't really, looking for a defensive midfielder, because I think our midfield stocks are quite good. But Michael Carrick is still a decent player at 35 years old. He's lost his physicals, which is fair enough, but he will be playing in the defensive mid position. I'll have to show you the tactic in a second. I have actually, I've jumbled it up a little bit, made it a bit more interesting, and it's done pretty well in preseason, to be fair. So, yeah, he'll play as a defensive midfielder in the defensive midfielder role as well. And, decent little competition for Romeu, who will probably be our starting defensive mid. We then signed an absolute wonder kid prospect, English wonder kid prospect, I should say. He's not the greatest at the moment, but he was signed for 4.8 million from Fulham. He is, again, a defensive midfielder as well. Technicals are not great, but he is only 16. He's actually got pretty decent mentals for a defensive mid. That 20 determination sticks out as well. Good work rate. Tackling, marking and passing, all pretty decent as well, which is what you kind of look for in a defensive midfielder. As you can see here. And it's not actually showing me, but anyway. And yeah, apparently he gets into the opposition area, which is probably not the greatest preferred move for a defensive mid. And the final player I brought in was James Wilson, on loan from Manchester United. No loan fee as well. We're only paying 30% of his wages, so that's pretty decent. He's probably one of the best strikers, young strikers in the Premier League at the moment. And if Ihenichio's not performing, James Wilson will. And hopefully that's a decent enough backup to keep us chugging along, keep the goals coming in during the Premier League season. So yeah, we brought in a total of 121 million, spent 8 million. Absolute amazing piece of business there, and quite happy with what we've done. Obviously losing Wanyama and Mane are both, and Rodriguez as well, to be fair, are all pretty big losses. They're all very good players, don't get me wrong. And there are one or two of them that I didn't really want to lose, but I felt it was kind of the right decision, because if I hadn't have let them go, they would have been complaining about, not being sold to a bigger team and whatnot. And I feel like we've replaced them with younger players that have the potential to be better than them anyway, so I'm quite happy with that. Anyways, the next thing I need to mention is, if I go to my board here, sorry, we are improving a few facilities. Like the youth facilities will be improved by about November, mid-November. They were actually downgraded due to advances in technology, so I just asked the board to reinstate it to the same level. And we are also expanding the stadium, and of course the planning for that will be done in 2 seasons' time. I'm not sure if that's the planning or if that's the whole expanding of it, because I'm pretty sure planning time isn't 2 seasons. I think that is actually the total time elapsed. It's only being expanded by about 4,000 seats if I go into our facilities here. We're currently on 32,500, and I think it's being upgraded to 36,490 or something like that. So we're getting another decent, 4,000 fans that will potentially be able to come and see us play, and hopefully that'll generate a little bit of income. I think that cost us about 14 million, just over 14 million. So yeah, it was pretty expensive, but with all the money we've brought in, our balance is just under 169 million. We've got 156.5 million transfer budget. I tried to bring in another little youth prospect from France, but Barcelona actually beat me to his transfer, and yeah, that was really disappointing, because he was a quality player that I would have loved to have gotten my hands on nice and early. I am currently scouting a few Italian players that look pretty decent. For some reason, they're all coming from Roma. Roma look like the one of the better youth teams in the world, actually. They have about 4 really good prospects, 2 of which are strikers. So yeah, anyway, we'll get into our match preview. Oh, sorry, I've almost forgot to go through preseason. We'll do it very quickly, though. First off, we versed Preston, beat them 3-0. Iheanacho, Tadic and Shane Long on the score sheet there. Next up was Bristol City. Iheanacho, Zivkovic with a brace, and Benafa on the score sheet there for us. We then faced Udinese, Iheanacho and Zivkovic again on the score sheet. Kind of see a little trend here. Next up was Swindon, Zivkovic and Shane Long there. We then versed Dynamo Croatia. Could only manage a 0-0 draw. We then versed Real Madrid at St Mary's and could only manage a 0-0 draw there as well. Pretty good result, to be fair. And in the final preseason game, we absolutely battered Bath City. 7-1. Dusan Tadic with a brace, Zivkovic with a hat-trick, Benafa and Juanmi on the score sheet there. So as you can see, Zivkovic is absolutely on fire at the moment. His stats are pretty incredible, to be fair. He's only 20 years old and has a 4-star potential, and potential to be a key member of the first team squad. So that's all well and good. We've drawn Sheffield Wednesday in the Capital One Cup second round, which is disappointing because usually we would enter the competition in the third round, and yeah, that kind of sucks. Anyway, we'll get into the team selection here today. Obviously, Fraser Foster will start in goals because Rulli is away with the Argentinian Olympic team. We've got San Emericio at right back. Shawcross and Mateu will probably be our starting centre-backs for the season, depending on how they perform. So Mateu starts next to him. We've got Bertrand at left back. Didn't really strengthen the left back position in the preseason, which is a little bit worrying, but I'm sticking with Bertrand. Hopefully he'll have a decent season. If not, I might look to replace him with a better left back by January. We've got Carrick, who will start today. Interestingly enough, I've gone with Carrick over Romeu. Balic will start as our deep line playmaker. Ben Arfa will start as our advanced playmaker in the AMC role. Tadic on the left, Zivkovic on the right, and Iheanacho up front. The bench today will be Font, Zambrano, Sakai, Romeu, Classy, Ramirez, and Juanmi. I'm actually going to change that and put Shane Long on for Juanmi, just to give us another striking option, even though Juanmi can play there. And let's go for it. Got to give out a few numbers to the boys very quickly. And here we go, guys. We are taking on Chelsea FC. And it's not going to be an easy game by any means. We did get a decent result against them last season. And they also beat us in one game as well. So they will start as the favourites going into the game. And as you can see, their lineup's not that impressive. Courtois, Alves, very old, still pretty good. Regani, the young Italian centre-back. John Terry probably won't have much pace. Yeah, doesn't have pace at all, to be fair. Bubba Rahman, they've got Willian playing in a deeper role with Matic a little bit further forward. Oscar sitting in front with Cuadrado, and Hazard with Morata up front. Pretty strong bench, to be fair. Ramirez, Zuma, Pedro, Costa, Mertens, Cahill, and Begovic. I'm not going to do any of that. We're just going to go out there. We're going to say we owe them for our last match, and we'll see what we can do, eh? Hopefully we can pull off some sort of result. I mean, I seem to always start these preseason episodes off against really difficult teams. And obviously, the first preseason episode 2, I believe, we lost to Liverpool, which wasn't the greatest start to the series. Hopefully we can pick up a bit of a better result here today against Chelsea in the second preseason episode. And yeah, Chelsea have a corner here. It's cleared away. Tadic could break. Plays it up front. Ooh, Iheanacho almost got onto that there. Courtois plays it out. Plays it long to Matic. Cuadrado. Alright, so Chelsea are moving the ball nicely here. We're not really shutting them down until Shawcross just absolutely batters him. It's a good save there by Foster. And he plays it long, but that's the end of the highlight there. We haven't had a shot on target yet, which is a little bit worrying. We are the home team. And Chelsea are kind of dominating us a little bit at the moment. But hopefully we can get forward now and create a chance for ourselves. Ben Arfa gets tackled there by Willian. Disappointing. We might have to bring Ramirez on just after half-time if things don't improve. Morata to Hazard. And that's... Oh, it's off the post. It was nearly 1-0, sorry. Still haven't had a shot on target, so probably going... Oh, there we go. We've finally got one. But it looks like we'll go into the half-time break 0-0, which is good for us, but, we're always susceptible to a goal, and that worries me. Just going to tell the boys I'm far from pleased. Mateu didn't really like that, but who cares? Okay, yeah, that's the end of the highlight there. Chelsea with the throw. Shawcross away. Really hoping Shawcross will have a big season, and the defence will, perform a little bit better. It's a good save there by Foster. Hazard back on it. That's a good block by Emericio. Or Emeterio. I'm pretty sure you guys will probably notice that I keep changing the way to pronounce his name because I absolutely have no idea how to pronounce it correctly. I'm not sure if I'm saying Iheanacho right. I'll probably have to Google that and just, try and find out. But we've got the ball here with Foster. Pumps it long. And Chelsea is straight back on the ball there. Disappointing. And they've scored an absolute wonder goal through Morata. Okay. That wasn't too good. That was poor. It was a screamer, to be fair, but I don't like conceding goals like that. Alves with the free kick, and that looks like, yep, 2-0. Okay, we're falling apart at the seams now. Cuadrado just scored there. Zivkovic is playing like shit after I hyped him up as well. Yeah, this is what we'll do. We'll bring Ramirez on for Zivkovic. We'll play Ben Arfa on the right wing. We'll bring Sakai on. Emeterio is just getting absolutely battered out there on the right fullback position by Hazard. So we'll play those two. And give Sakai his debut, which will be quite good to get that over and done with. Chelsea have another corner here. It is cleared away through Carrick though, only as far as Willian. Hazard crosses it back in, but that's cleared away by Sakai there. We are getting absolutely dominated here, but could be worse. It could be worse. Oh, and there's 3-0. That's disappointing. Cuadrado with a brace. Bertrand with the throw to Balic. Carrick. Can we get a goal back here, boys? Come on, Gaston. Plays it forward. Oh, and that's too easy. Sakai to Ben Arfa. Crosses it. Iheanacho. Hit it, son. Oh, penalty ref. Come on. Sakai. Ben Arfa. Carrick. Gaston. What can he do? Iheanacho. Oh, he almost had his goal. And he's given away a free kick. Lovely. Alright, so 20 minutes still to go. We are actually coming into the game a little bit more now. Tadic gives the ball away. Disappointing. That is horrible, mate. What are you doing? And Chelsea are on the counter. Cuadrado crosses it in, and there's 3-0. 4-0, sorry, through Hazard. And we are getting absolutely battered out here today. This is, yeah, not impressed. I don't even know what to say. I'm going to aggressively encourage them, but conceded 4 goals here today. Really disappointing result, to be fair. I mean, I knew it was, it was never going to be an easy, walk in the park type game. It is Chelsea, and that's going to be 5-0 there. Then Cuadrado just got a freaking hat-trick. Oh, come on. That is shocking. Shocking. 5-0. Sack me now. Can't stand this. Okay, so the tactic has worked all pre-season. We managed to get a draw with Real Madrid, who weren't playing a second string team. They were playing some big names. And we've just gotten battered away from, at home by Chelsea. 5-0. Bloody Shawcross is playing a 5.9. That pisses me off. Not good enough. Yep, full time, 5-0 loss to Chelsea. Absolutely shocking result. I'm really pissed off with that. I'm going to end the episode here, guys. That is not good enough, especially at home. I've got some real big questions to answer right now after that result. I'm not impressed at all, and I'll probably join you guys back for the next episode, which will be a live com sometime in the future. You guys will find out. I'm really pissed off. We are currently sitting in last place after the first game, We've got Arsenal up next as well, which is just great, coming off a 5-0 loss to Chelsea. Anyways, guys, that's it. Goodbye.